Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Orbital Potato, and this is Concrete Jungle. And, of course, this is Potato Reviews, the series in which I sit down with a game and I play around with it, and then I let you lovely people know exactly what I think of it. Alright, so, first important thing to note, I asked the developer for a review copy of this game, and he was very, very kind, and he gave me one. So, I did get this game for free. If you think that changes my opinion, then you'd be wrong, because it doesn't. But yeah, so there's the campaign mode, which, you play through, some sort of a story. And then there's custom games, which are also pretty cool, and it's what we are going to be primarily focused on today. And then there's a whole bunch of features in the options menu, so to speak. And I just want to draw attention to a feature that I really freaking like. Stream safe music, right? So if I want to stick this video on YouTube, which coincidentally, guess what? I do, and I really think it's awesome that you can tick this box and just boom, it's like, no more threat of any copyright strikes or whatever. That would be awesome, or not copyright strike, but people claiming on your videos. Anyway, we are gonna jump into a custom game, and for somebody that hasn't ever played this game before, this is sort of a deck building, city building game, and it's a game that I actually really like. So you can set the game length in this area. You can also adjust your starting purchases, but we'll talk a little bit about that as we go on later. We'll start. That made no sense, but we'll talk about that later. That's what I meant to say. You can also adjust the game length right here. I usually play on 30 columns. That's literally my favorite way of playing it. I really do like it on that way. But today we are going to be playing on 20 columns because it's a bit of a shorter format, and I think you guys would appreciate it, and it'll just allow us to talk a little bit more about the features. So what's really cool is the fact that you can actually build your deck. Now there's a whole bunch of different card levels, and as you can see, I am very far from completing even some of the levels. I haven't even unlocked level 2 yet. I'm still fairly new to this game. I haven't played tons. I've probably played around about 2 or 3 hours into it. That's probably where it is. But anyway, I can sort of do what I want, and I can remove a couple of shops and say I want to add some farmland. I want to do that perhaps. That's cool. There's a maximum of 12 cards. Is there anything else I really want to add in? Not really. I sort of want to take that out. I really don't like restaurants. I can't stick any more factories, unfortunately. I'll stick in 2 breweries, because breweries are pretty darn cool. And I'll go on to tell you about that. I also really dislike supermarkets. Can't get any more greens. Get some farmland. I guess I'll get some farmland. That's fine. So we've got 4 houses, 2 factories, 2 breweries, 2 green tiles, and 2 farmland tiles. And you might be going like, what the hell are you talking about, Orbital Potato? I have no idea what you're on about. But anyway, we're going to jump into the game, and it's all going to become clear. So this is our city. And the best way that I can sort of describe this game is Tetris, but on a horizontal plane rather than a vertical plane, and it's all about leveling up buildings and collecting points, and I think it's thoroughly enjoyable, right? I really do. I think the way that it's presented is fantastic. Right, so each of these buildings has got something special about them. So for example, the green, it gives +1 point to an adjacent tile. So I shall go and demonstrate this for you now, even though the green is a card that you'd probably want to keep until the end. So you can place it anywhere on the map, and it will give +1 point to an adjacent tile. So let's say, boom, there we go. That tile now has a +1 point. Now, what I've got here is a factory. Now, what's important to note about the factory, and actually with every card, you've got 2 types of points, right? And I don't really know what the points are called. I just call them point cards, like card points even. So card points. You've got card points, and then you've got building points. I really have no fucking idea what they're called. But I call them card points and building points. So basically, you're probably asking yourself, why would you want to place down a factory when it does -1 to every square around it? Let's stick it up in the the top left-hand corner up here, right? So it does -1 to every square around it. But if it's off the map, then, you know, it doesn't count as a negative modifier. What that factory actually does is it gives us a huge number of card points. So it gives us 3 out of the 5 we need to level up, which is very cool. All right? And, you know, for example, the cards that are good, the cards that help you out, that help your city out, that help your city sort of level up, and we'll talk about that mechanic a little bit later on, you know, they tend to give you 1 building point. Now, at the moment, we're in the stage where we only need a total of 3 points to complete a row. And you can complete a row by leveling it up. So, you know, we can stack points, or alternatively, we could place the green here and then leveled up this square. Now, farmland is pretty darn useless at this stage in the game, but we'll sort of muck around with it, and I'll talk a little bit about it later on. It's important to note that these guys merge together, and it's really cool how it does that. But anyway, let's go on to houses. Houses, basically, collect points for you, right? So if I place a house down on top of this 2 points, boom, it collects 2 points, and it displays that in that grey bar at the back. Right? We all clear so far? Good. I'm glad we're clear so far. So at the moment, we're currently in the situation where we need only 3 points to clear this row. And it's also important to note that you can't clear this row, unlike Tetris, I guess, you can't clear this row unless the previous row before it has been cleared. Alright? Good. I think we're sort of getting this. Now, my deck may be absolute trash, and that's why I'm placing some houses around randomly. I'm also gonna place down another factory so that I can get access to the card upgrade system, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's get the green down and upgrade that house. Let's add a little bit more farmland on here. Perfect. Farmland, of course, giving us some more card points. You know, you can see the values of the card points and the building points that it gives you. Let's go have a look and see what we can pick up. Right, so there's two places that we can go to spend our card points. One is the skills tree, and the other is the card shop. Now, the card shop is the same until you spend a point in the card shop, okay, if that makes sense. And it's also important to note that these cards, all of these ones here, are all one-time use cards. So because there is no little, you know, roundy circle arrow thing in the top left-hand corner, it means that they are one-time use cards. So they will only be in our deck until we use them on the battlefield, so to speak. So, not a huge incentive to go for these cards, although the food processing plant is very good. I mean, if you look at how many card points that it actually gives us, I mean, that's 1.5 times what we're actually spending to acquire this card, so it's very cool indeed. But also, you know, we've got a bunch of stuff in this tech tree that we can upgrade. So we've got the finer things. Replace a chosen card in your deck with a gazebo card. Now, a gazebo card is +2 to select adjacent tiles, so it's like the level up from the green card, you know. But also at the same time, if you look in the top right hand corner of the card, you can see that that only costs 1 orange building point, whereas the gazebo costs 3 points. So yeah, you know, you're paying for the added benefit of using this card. You know, you're paying for the privilege of such a great card. I think what we're going to go is we're going to go for the food processing plant. Now, this is exactly what I was looking for, and it's quite coincidental that I actually managed to pick it up, but it's fantastic that I really did manage to pick it up. So, we're going to pick up this farmhouse right here, and this is a really cool card for a whole multitude of reasons. So, let's play on. Let's get the brewery down, because we are going to need to invest in more and more card points, because our deck is fairly sparse at the moment. It's not, you know, the most fleshed out of decks. It can't run from the get-go, but it's doing not badly. I think it's not doing badly at all. It's doing fine. You can go there. Factory. You can go up here, and let's have a look at the card points. Okay. What do we want to go for? I think we want to go for a renovation, perhaps, or perhaps forcing the hand. This is quite a good early game play as well. So all players discard. It's sort of a multiplayer game as well, but it's not really. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. All players discard their entire build list, and the current column is force cleared. So we don't lose a life when we force clear it, and that basically just means the lowest rung just goes away and we just forget about it, which is kind of nice. Let's try and get rid of this row if we possibly can, because that's something that we are going to need to do. Although we will talk about clearing that last row in just a second. Let's talk about this farmhouse quickly. Now, what this farmhouse actually does is really, really cool. So it actually collects points based on the amount of land that it is connected to. And if we can connect it to the farmhouse, then that would be fantastic. Or maybe it's not the farmhouse. Maybe it's not. No, I'm pretty sure it is the farmhouse. Collects points. Perhaps it's not the farmhouse. Should I have placed that somewhere else? I don't know. We'll deal with that later. I feel like I'm saying like we'll deal with a lot of stuff later. I really can't place the food processing plant down right now, but hey ho. So yeah, there is a way that you can combo like the land that you place down and then add it to the farmhouse. Although I think I fucked it up somehow. I really am fairly clueless, I'm afraid. Let's get rid of this row. Let me show you what happens. Boom, the row, we get rid of it. Now, if we were really smart, what we could have done is we could have comboed like a whole bunch of rows to trigger when we actually, you know, when we proc this last row, we should have probably had a couple more rows behind that just so that we can absolutely maximally capitalize on, you know, our score to the maximal extent. Now, this is exactly where I was hoping the food processing plant would go. Let's go and have a look at the card shop. Nothing really interests me. I suppose we'll take a gazebo and we'll replace a green. So we'll have one green and one gazebo now. It's kind of nice. And is there anything that we sort of like here? I think we'll actually take the community hall. None of them are reusable apart from this one, which I suppose is alright, but it's not that great. We'll take another gazebo. We'll just replace both greens and just, you know, be happy with that, I suppose. There we go. Okay, so that worked. It didn't seem to want to connect there, but now we've managed to connect the farmhouse to this tile. Now, we can just keep on building out this farmland, and it'll just increase this house. So that's what I sort of meant. I don't really know why it didn't combo in there. I think 4 might be our maximum number at the moment, like our maximum number of chained tiles, although I'm not entirely sure. I think it starts off as a default of 3, but that can be increased through very, very specific cards. Now, we're not doing so well, and I would love to blame that on the fact that I haven't been concentrating, so I'm going to do just that. Let's place some houses down as well. Take a factory up here. Yep. And let's see what else is going on. An art house cinema. Add an art house cinema card to your deck. You know what? That's not actually the worst idea in the world. A school is also something that's alright, but it's not great, you know? It's not great. Now, a community garden, right? +3 max block size, +1 to the selected adjacent building. So this would be the type of card that would allow us to increase the maximum block size, for example. So I guess 4 is probably the start of it. Add an art house cinema. We're going to take an art house cinema because I need some way to buff up my houses because I'm just not getting the buffs I need at the moment. So I think we'll put it on that -2 because it's important to note that that -2 isn't affected by the actual modifier because it's just farmland that's going down on top of it. So that's really, really cool. So that's the reason why I really, really like farmland and farmhouses, is because they're not affected by the negative modifiers and you can just build them anywhere. You know, there's no real, as long as you chain them, you know, there's no limit on your imagination, so to speak. Let's get a food processing plant. Ballsy, I know, but I really do like the food processing plant. I think it's very, very good. We've got a lot of fucking houses, don't we? We've got a real lot of houses. Stick 2 houses down there. Let's try and clear this bottom row, I think. Yeah, let's just clear it. Let's just clear the bottom row and just not worry about it. And then we're also going to go for an art house cinema there. Now, this art house cinema has also got the whole sort of other line underneath, the other line of text underneath the image, and it says discard a card from the building list. Well, we know that we've got a butt ton too many houses. Let's get rid of that one. In fact, we probably should have gotten rid of that houses, because this is just going to stick in our active build area for a little while. But you know what? Whatever. We'll make the best of a bad situation. So it's cool that we've sort of got like our industrial half of town. But apart from that, hey-ho. Yeah, so as you can see, we can't add this farmhouse onto anywhere because it's just not going to combo with it. So that was probably a really stupid decision, but hey-ho. We'll place the farmhouse down over there, and we'll continue with our factory. Oh, shit. We placed a brewery over there. Not the best idea, but at the same time, not the worst either. Let's get the green down there to aid that house. Why not? And let's place a couple of houses down, you know. We can clear that row should we want to. And I'll show you what I mean by like buffing the layers up. And there's still hope for us, even though it's sort of fading into the distance. This is going to be difficult because we've got 2 rows here that we need to fulfill. And that is going to be challenging. Let's put this up here, and we're going to discard... We're actually going to discard the house. That may be a little bit risky because we could complete this row if we get into a little bit of trouble, but I don't think we'll need to. So we've got the farmhouse up here, which we are totally going to take advantage of, and path out just like that. That's very good indeed. We've got the brewery, which we can use, and we've also got the factory, which we can use. Let's quickly take a look and see if there's any interesting cards that we can pick up or anything of value. Now, forcing the hand is probably something that we're going to want to burn right now. Although the farmland is pretty good as well. Let's take a farmland, see if there's any interesting cards that we can take. There's not really anything that we're super thrilled about. Yeah, trailer park, that's an interesting card. So this collects points just like a house or a farmhouse, and it can be a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2. So, you know, take from that what you will. I'm not a huge fan. Let's just use the forcing the hand sort of thing, and boom, this entire row disappears. And I believe we do get some score from it. I can't remember if we do get some score from it or not. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. I'm not that bothered. Alright. We're going to need to expand our little farm up there. We've got 3 there, 2 there, and a 3 there. So we're in a good position. You know, don't get me wrong. We're in a very good position. However, we need to spam down a bunch of houses now, unfortunately, because we just don't have the space. Yeah, this is really bad for us, actually. This is really bad. We're in a very bad situation right now. Unless this art house cinema can complete a row, which it can, actually. This art house cinema can fairly easily complete a row. Although, we're once again going to be in a little bit of trouble if we do that. What do we want to discard? We probably want to discard a house because, gosh darn, we've got a lot of houses. We've got a whole bunch of houses. Now, the reason that it's going to be a problem is because we quite simply just don't have enough points to burn this bottom row. And that is a really big issue. So we have these lives up here, right? So we've got 1 life, and we gain more we gain more lives as our number of points increases. So we can burn the bottom row if we want to. But, you know, we don't really want to do this. Let's try and save this. Let's try and save this. There's almost no way that we're going to be able to do this bottom row. I mean, unless by some miracle. Let's put the factory down. Let's get a gazebo down. And let's try and save this row. Let's try and save the row before. So we've got this one up to 4, which is just over the limit. Stick a farmhouse down over there. I know it's going to be a little bit of a -1 modifier, whatever. I'm not too concerned. You know, that's still a point on the board for us as far as I'm concerned. We sort of need a gazebo or something to go in there. That would really help. We'll stick a brewery down in the corner. see if we can pick up a point. Also, it's important to note that our building points just increased. We're now on to 3, so we now need 4 points per column to clear a row. That did make no sense. That did make no sense. Oh my goodness, I'm on a roll tonight. Wow, crazy. Yeah, so basically we need 4 points on a column to clear a column. Simple as that. A granary, +1 economy for each other building block. I'm not too over the moon with that. We're almost to the point where we can level up to level 2 if we want, so I think we're just going to hang on for now. But honestly, not super thrilled with the progress that we are making at this moment in time. You know, things are not lost, but they're looking fairly dodgy. In fact, they're looking very, very freaking dodgy right now. Right, we're going to have to place that in there. Oh, God. I don't think there's any way that we can come back from this. I don't think there's any way that we can come back from this. Like, let's burn the road now while we've got the opportunity to do so. Yeah, we had to do that. It was a tactical play, and as you can see, we're about 1/3 of the way to covering the distance that our city needs to go before we can officially call it a day. Let's place some houses down. Why would it? Was that what? I misread that as a farmhouse. Jesus, that was a stupid thing to do. It was a really dumb thing to do. So, as you can see in our deck list, we've got so many fucking houses. We've just got way too many houses, unfortunately, which is really bad for us. We'll get another food processing plant. That'll be kind of nice. But yeah, our deck list evolves as we continue, and I think that's pretty darn cool, if you ask me. Boom, let's complete those next 2 rows, get a few more progression points towards the end of our city. Also, you know, if you can combo when rows complete, then, you know, you're in business. That's how the pros do it, you know? That's how it should be done. Put a farmhouse over there. Let's get another factory over here. Gazebos. Yeah, we are going to have some real issues. Now, what we could do is we could get a bus station. And we're going to need more than just a bus station to save us. We're going to need something much more than a bus station to save us. So anything here that can save us? Yes, there is actually something that can save us. Okay, so a spectacular renovation. Now this is a one-time use card. It's not a continual use card, but once again, if we can get it into our rotation, then it could potentially, I say potentially, with a great amount of trepidation, it could potentially save us. All right, let's level up. Let's just forget about this row for now, and we'll come back to it a little bit later on. Okay, an art house cinema. Art house cinema would probably do most good over here. It's not really necessary over there, though. Let's stick it up there, and let us delete houses, because gosh darn, we've got way too many houses. Let's use the spectacular renovation. Now what this will do is it'll just like upgrade by 2 points the number of points that an area that a tile is getting. Also, a bus station is pretty darn cool because we can build it anywhere on the map. So for example, this -2 square that is never going to be built on, and we can just bam, increase it. Now it's unfortunate that we've got this -1 area over here, because we could really do without it. So we're going to have to try and hope that we get enough technology points to, you know, level up and get us enough technology points, enough card points, and so that we can sort of, you know, get a good card that is going to help us level up this square or whatever square on the bottom row. That's what we've got to rely on. That's exactly what we've got to rely on. Farmland, let's get that up to level 3. So as you can see, it completely changes the dynamic of the game once you have to progress to getting 4 points per column. It's very difficult actually to do it. Like when you get onto 5, 6, that's even more challenging. It's very difficult to deal with sometimes. Let's build that there. A factory, it's not really an opportunity. There's not really an opportunity for a factory at the moment. Let's just play it safe, you know. Let's play it safe. Probably want to go for house over there, I would imagine. And if we can get that farmhouse there on this row, then we can start building up this row rather than just this row, because this row already has a farmhouse on it. A gazebo. Can we do anything with a gazebo? Yes, we actually can. We really, really can. So we can stick that there and then build a house on there just like that. And then a brewery can come up in the... in there, because in all probability we're probably going to get something that's going to modify at least one of these houses and make it go up by at least one. So that's what I'm sort of banking on. So there's like a billion plans going on at the moment, and I sort of like that about this game. Also, not to mention the fact that this entire world that we're sort of populating is completely active. Not to mention the fact that if you want to, you can see the city that you've already built. Right? You can't build on it. You can't build on it. As you can see, I'm still prohibited from building on it. But it's really, really cool how you can sort of see what you've done and just how we're progressing. And holy crap, I am using a lot of farm tiles. That's kind of crazy. But I don't really like playing with that on. But I really do like it as a feature that you can sort of toggle it on and off. It's very, very nice. Let's stick a factory down there. And now, let's see if there's anything that can actually save our bacon. There is the spectacular renovation. I completely forgot about that, actually. This sculpture point is also really, really good. It's a repeating card, and it does, +1 points to every tile around the building in the middle. So it's very, very good. Ballet School, that's kind of interesting. We might get it, we might not. But basically, it gives you, instead of just 2 options, whenever you place it, it gives you a 3rd option. So it sort of increases your range a little bit. It's very, very nice, actually. Let's just go for this spectacular renovation and hope that we get it. So we're banking on a lot here. We're banking on a lot. Let's place that down there. Level that up to 3. Good job. Good job, potato. We're not doing badly here. Well, we're doing pretty badly, but we're not doing as badly as we could be. Farmland and a farmhouse. What do we want to do with this? There's a spectacular renovation over there, so could potentially be fine. Let's place some farmland down there. Let's place a house. Let's place a house here. I think that's a good choice for a house area. Alright, boom, it's finally time. We can stick it on anywhere on the bottom rank, but we'll burn those 2 bottom ranks, give us a little bit of extra space to sort of play around with, which is kind of nice. And we are close. We are very, very close to achieving our mission objective. Let's place the farmhouse there. Art house cinema can go like so. And let us get rid of the factory. The brewery is probably going to be more useful for us at this stage in the game. And once again, I think we're going to go for Park Square. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But at the same time, if you look at the number of building points that Park Square card incurs, should I say, then sculpture seems to be the very, very preferable option. So we'll take that, add that to our deck, and yeah, this is our deck at the moment. All of them are repeating, all very, very nice indeed. So what do we really want to do with this gazebo? Well, we can do a whole lot of stuff actually. We can burn this entire bottom row if we want, but if we do this, then we're dead, right? We're absolutely dead. So we've got to prepare the second row, because for example, if I just do this and I just place the buff on this house here, that will complete the row, but it will also eliminate this fantastic building square that we've prepared down here. Prepared, I say like it's intentional, but it's actually not intentional. So we're gonna have to actually burn this gazebo on leveling up this other row up to level 5, unfortunately. A little bit of a waste, but at the same time, not the end of the world. What do we want to do? We'll do something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that. So that row's completed as well. It's great to see. That there. Brewery can go there. Houses, we'll just continue building there. And a sculpture. Fantastic. So, with this sculpture, we can not quite complete this row because we actually need a gazebo. So we're going to have to think more carefully about where we're going to place it. It's probably going to do the most good over here, I guess. I mean, not hugely effective, but I guess it sort of works. We just have so many houses at the moment. It's crazy. Brewery over here. And what can we do? We really need this gazebo to sort of complete for us. I don't really think there's any way that we can do this. unfortunately. I really don't. I really don't think that there's any way that we can come back from this, because if we clear the last row, it's game over. It's game over, folks. It's game over. And we don't want that to happen. But yeah, I'm pretty certain that there is no way in coming back from this. I mean, no, this is just going to hurt us. Unless there's going to be a crazy card pickup, which I know for a fact there won't be. There will not be a crazy card pickup. I'm afraid, friends, that's going to be it. That's it. That's game over. That's game over. We didn't even manage to complete a fucking run of 20. Holy cow. I mean, in fairness, probably wasn't my best run. Probably trying to concentrate more on talking to you guys than I was on actually playing. That's going to be my excuse. Yeah, so what do I think of this game overall? Because we've seen a lot of gameplay, and you know, the gameplay is fairly complex, I suppose. The deck building mechanic I really like. You know, I love the fact about how, you know, you can customize your deck. I think that is so unbelievably cool. In a casual game, I really do. I love how they've got these different ranks of cards. You know, obviously I don't really have access to any of them, but you can see there's a whole bunch of really complex, really awesome cards that, you know, I haven't even explored yet. A military base, solo mode, +1 life, versus mode, delete 4 random cards from each opponent. So it's really very cool indeed, and I thoroughly have enjoyed my time with this game. So what we can do is we can actually do some multiplayer, and multiplayer is not something that can actually be done online, which is probably my chief criticism of this game. Actually, you can't play online multiplayer with your friends, which is a little bit of a bummer. In fairness, it's a little bit of a bummer, because I would love to do that. I would love to do that, but unfortunately, you just can't. It's either AI or local multiplayer. Now, I love the fact that this game has got local multiplayer, and you know, rarely any games do. You know, almost no games have, you know, local multiplayer these days, and I think it's really cool that they do have that. But I think online multiplayer would be, you know, just the added bonus to make it an even better game. But without a shadow of doubt, I thoroughly have enjoyed this game. The looks, it looks fantastic. You know, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The world is alive. You know, the cars are driving around. The city is constantly evolving. And, you know, the houses that you place, I don't feel like it makes a difference on like a city planning sort of level. But I feel that, you know, in the context of the game, everything you do has a very significant impact. Because the entire situation that you come to is created solely by you. You and your choice of cards, and a little bit of luck, I suppose. You know, a little bit of luck in what cards you actually draw. But, you know, the way that you choose to play is fine. You know, you can do what you want. Do you want to burn it row by row and play it safe? Yeah, absolutely. You can totally play like that. Do you want to try build up a massive entire board filled worth of cards, or worth of buildings, and then burn it all? You know, you can do that as well. That is absolutely fine. But it involves planning and actually thinking in advance about what you're going to do. Now, I sort of did that a little bit in this demo game that I sort of provided you. So certainly, I was doing it a little bit, but I am obviously like super dumb when it comes to this game. A, because I haven't played it for as much as some people, and you know, B is because I'm dumb, right? I'm dumb. I get it. But I thoroughly have enjoyed this game. Now, I'm not sure what I think about the whole locked off cards thing. I like how the cards get successively more complex, you know. I do like that fact. But the fact that there's so many locked cards is a little bit annoying, I guess. But I suppose it just sort of incentivizes playing this game. So it is really cool. Like, I really do like this game. And the amount of cards that there are available, holy cow. Like, just look. Just look, it's absolutely crazy. You know, not all of them are super different, but some of them are. You know, some of them are really crazy. You know, like the military base and the stadium. Draw 5 random cards, assign each to a deck of your choice. You know, how cool is that? And you know, obviously some of them are launched. I saw the word launched, and I was like, I'm gonna say the word launched. You know, some of them are aimed at you know, local multiplayer mode, which I, in fairness, think is actually really cool. I think it's great to have cards that are specific to multiplayer mode. And you know, my absolute top-notch feature must be the fact that you know, you can go to the options menu and you can you can go to audio and you can play stream safe music. I think that's fantastic. I think that's really, really good. The music in this game, by the way, is absolutely phenomenal. Even with stream safe music turned on, it is top of the line, relaxing, chilled out beats. So this game actually, in my opinion, it does almost no wrong. It does almost no wrong. It is really, really fantastic. I don't think it's going to manage to keep your attention forever. Absolutely not. I think you're going to get bored of it. It's a very repetitive format. I can understand that. But for what it is, Concrete Jungle is a fantastically developed and a very, 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 very good game. And it's one that I thoroughly have enjoyed playing. So thank you very much to the developers for sending me a review code. I really appreciate it. I hope you don't think that that's biased my view in any way, because it absolutely hasn't. Like I was gonna buy this game if I didn't get a review copy. Like that was what it was like. I was just like, yep, I wanna see if I can get this game a little bit early, because I really do want to play it. But I would have bought it if I hadn't got the review copy anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching. My name, of course, has been Oda Potato. This has been Potato Reviews, and this has been Concrete Jungle, a phenomenal game that I really do think you should check out. You know, a nice little relaxing game, so to speak. You never know, it might be covered in an upcoming Nice and Simple. It probably wasn't, though, because it was covered in the Potatoes Reviews. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I streamed it. I streamed the game, and people really seem to like it. It's really cool. So, yeah, Tetris. Sort of. But you build a city, which is infinitely way more cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.